Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living at Home with Dementia. My name is Gail Snyder. I'm the Executive Director for Dementia Friendly Fort Worth, and we are proud to offer this program with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and United Way of Tarrant County. This is a recorded program and is made available through a YouTube channel for future play. And today we have Brook Wood from Civitas with us, and we are doing The Price is Right 1990 style. Brook, let's get started.
All righty, let me get my screen shared.
I haven't let you do that yet. I missed a step.
It allowed me to click it, so I thought it was going to let me.
There you go. There you go. Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. All righty. 1990s version of The Price is Right. Are y'all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so rules of the game. Patrick, you've played with us before, so I know you probably remember the rules of the game, but we're going to guess how much the prices of these items were in the 90s. Closest guess without going over the price wins, and player with the most points and wins. And then we'll follow that up with some facts about the 90s, some reminiscing history on the 90s. So our very first item up on the showcase is a Furby. I don't know if y'all have seen these or remember these. They're kind of creepy to me, but these are a little toy for the kids. So the Furby, which is an animated character that is able to blink and talk, to the little children who have them, was invented in the 90s. So what do y'all think the price of the Furby was in the 90s?
$4.
$4. Gail, what is your guess?
I'm going to say $6.75.
I hate to tell y'all, but y'all are going to be awfully surprised by this one. I was in shock by it. So the price was $35.
Wow.
I know. And the little Furbies are like this big. They're not even that big. So I was reading on it. The Furbies came out in 1998. So they originally retailed for about $35 upon release, but they sold so well that by the time Christmas came around, they drove the prices up to almost $100 for a Furby.
Wow.
I think some parents were spending a lot of money on these toys, but yeah, they were very, very popular, and they still make them today. I know I see them in Walmart occasionally still, and they, have colors and different things like that now. But yes, they were a very, very popular new toy, and I think, I imagine that this was probably one of the first toys that was able to kind of like talk to you and kind of have those reactions and stuff. So I think that might have driven the price a little bit and caused some children to ask for them even more. So
my kids were in the prime age for those. My kids never had that. So
yeah, because they probably cost $100. That was a lot of money. Yeah.
I think they probably thought they were kind of creepy too. They
are. I think they are a little bit, yeah, because they blink at you and everything, and they just don't look that pretty, in my opinion. All right, our next item is, this one's an interesting one. So just a gallon of gas. How much do you think that an average gallon of gas cost in the 90s?
In the 90s. $3.
$3. Okay. Gail, what do you think?
I'm going to say $1.95.
$1.95. Gail, that's more than gas is today.
So it's $3.
That's true too. So a gallon of gas cost $1.15. So I filled up my tank yesterday, and I've driven by a bunch of gas stations this morning, and I was looking, and most of them were around $1.89 for a gallon of gas. So the highest national average price for a gallon was $4.11. That was back in 2008, according to the AAA. I remember whenever it was, around that $4 and everybody was thinking that it was going to get to $5 and everything. And then
So,
go ahead.
during the time when it was $4 and over a gallon, I drove 100 miles a day round trip to work.
Oh my gosh. So you felt those $4 every day.
And I had an SUV.
Oh, so you were eating up the gas.
So my gas bill was astronomical that year.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And I know, during this whole COVID pandemic, there's gotten to a point where gas prices dropped so low because nobody was driving initially that they were paying to have the distributors, take the gas because they didn't have the capacity to hold all of it anymore. I think they were paying around $40 a barrel or something similar to that. So yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind. It goes up and it goes down. So, all right. Our next item is, is that the next one? All right. So this is the Mac. We talked about the Apple products a couple of weeks ago, whenever that first one that kind of looked like a typewriter came out. And so this is one of the versions that they had in the 90s. I believe this is 96 or 98 that they had for the computer. So it's fully encased computer. It has the mouse and the keyboard, the whole shebang. How much, Gail, why don't you go first this time? I think Patrick went first the last couple of rounds. What do you think the Mac cost? This desktop Mac.
That's hard to say. I never saw one exactly like that. I'm going to say $1,500.
$1,500. Okay. Patrick, what's your guess?
I'll say 3,000.
3,000. All right. So the average cost was $12.99, which I think is really high still. But so this Mac was designed by Johnny Ive. It distills the self-essence of the Mac in a single self-contained enclosure, much in the same vein as the original Macintosh, while ditching the 3.5-inch floppy disk drive, considered a bold move ahead of its time, especially since Apple was instrumental in bringing that format to the public consciousness in the first place. So this one didn't have the capacity for a floppy disk in it. And, it's kind of interesting because today I would say, I know that they have, the MacBooks, computers of all price ranges, but I think you can get some of them for around that same price. Depending on capacity. I know you can get some for upwards of $2,000 as well, but I think you can get something for around that same price still. So that's kind of interesting. All right. Our next item is, okay, this is our car one where we guess the order of the numbers. So now I'm pretty sure, I hope I didn't get the wrong picture because I saw a couple of different cars pop up whenever I Googled this car, but I'm pretty positive that this is the 1996 BMW 328IS. I'm crossing my fingers hoping that I'm not embarrassing myself. But it is? Okay. So what do y'all think the price of this car I know the price of the 1996 BMW IS, so at least if the picture's not right, I have the price right, but what do y'all think the price is with these numbers? So unscramble the numbers. We have 79280. What do you think the price of this car was in 96?
Patrick, I'll let you go first.
I'll say 28,790.
28,790. Okay.
And I'm going to say 29,870.
29,8. Ooh, y'all are like getting close there. Okay. So the actual price was, I feel like one of y'all got it right, but y'all's faces are covering it up. 29. Oh, Patrick, you guessed 28,790. Gail, you guessed 29,870.
So Patrick won that one.
Patrick won that one. Yep. Y'all are both very close, just like switching a number here and there. I thought actually one of y'all had it. So fun fact about BMW originally built plane engines. BMW was initially a manufacturer of airplane engines, and a good one at that. The company set records in aviation for both altitude speed, making key advancements in the industry before making the switch to the auto industry. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't know that about BMW. But
And did you
high grade cars, I guess.
looked at the BMW emblem on the hood?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got the white and the blue.
Mm-hmm.
And they started out making plane engines, like the thing says, and the blue is like the sky, and the white is a propeller going around. That's the history of the emblem. Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh.
Didn't know that.
Well, you're teaching us more about it then. Okay, so our next one is the Nokia cell phone. Did either one of y'all have one of these?
I had one exactly like that. That was my first cell phone.
Do you remember how much you paid for it?
No, I do not.
Okay, so how much do y'all think a Nokia phone cost in the 90s?
Because I think especially back then, the phone came with the plan.
I didn't know that. Okay. So you bought your phone and then...
You got a free phone if you signed a contract, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, they did that actually up until recently, in the last few years, I feel like, and I thought that was the way to go. That's how I like to get my phones, whenever you signed a contract. Yep. So,
phone by
just
itself.
guessing.
Your turn, Gail.
I'm going to say $195.
195, okay.
220.
220. Y'all are both really close, actually. But it was approximately $199. So Gail won that one. Yep. That's true, though. I guess that y'all might not have known necessarily how much the phone actually cost if you were getting it for free whenever you got the phone plan with it, right?
Yeah.
So Motorola on April 3rd, 1973 was the first company to mass produce the first handheld mobile phone. So back in 1973. All right.
This particular phone, I mean, I had one, like I said, just like that. But the first mobile phone that I ever really remember is I worked for Methodist Children's Home. And the director and social worker had a car phone. And it was mounted on a pole that stood up in the floorboard of her van.
Oh, wow.
Called a car phone, not a mobile phone.
Huh, there you go. Yeah.
Do you remember those?
I remember those, the ones that came out at like 76. You had a big battery pack. The antenna was back in your trunk. And you had a big, huge antenna on your car, and they had to run the cord up to the dash, and then it came out, and you had it was like the size of a brick phone.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
So I know whenever I was looking at phone prices, they had some from, not the 90s, from the earlier decades and stuff. And I want to say that one of the first ones, the big ones that y'all are talking about, was like $3,000 to $4,000, I think it said. So that's a lot. I mean, we talk about the iPhones and the smartphones that we have being $1,000, but those first ones were those 3 to 4. So those are definitely a pretty penny.
Yeah, and back then you had to go like to a place that would install a car radio. Your phone installed.
Oh, huh. Interesting. I didn't realize that. There you go. All righty. So our next item this is just a 90s Lazy Boy chair. How much do you think a Lazy Boy recliner cost in the 90s?
$250.
$250. Okay. Gail?
I'm going to say $225.
$225. All righty. So it cost about $260. So Patrick, there you go. You were very close. There you go. So in 1927, Edward, I don't know how to say his last name, Edwin Shoemaker set out to design a chair that was what they called nature's way of relaxing with a few orange crates to mock up their idea. They invented a wood flat porch chair with a reclining mechanism. It was a massive success, and that eventually evolved into Lazy Boy. So there you go. That's a little bit of a fun fact about Lazy Boy. All right. So the next one is, my picture didn't turn out very good. So one of the old, big TVs that were as wide as they were, the back end of them too, as long as they were wide. So how much do you think, this is a color TV Sharp, it's a 19-inch model with a remote. How much do you think it cost in the 90s?
Looks like it's got a VCR with it too.
That one did, yep.
I was about to say that at that same place that I worked, we had one of these in our conference room to play movies when the kids came in with their parents.
Oh, there you go.
And it played VCR or videotapes.
Okay, yep. Yeah, it kept the kids entertained then too. Gail, I think Patrick went first last time. You want to guess this time?
115.
115. Okay, Patrick?
275.
275. Okay. The actual price of it was $189.97. So Gail, you got that one. I didn't have a fun fact. I thought I put a fact about that one, but I guess I didn't. All right. Our next item is, I knew this picture was so clear. Now it just doesn't turn out that way. I'm sorry about that. So this is a Garmin GPS. Now this is a new picture with an old GPS. So this was from the 90s, and this, I'll just give you all kind of some history on it. I found the price of the Garmin GPS, but then I had to go and find a picture of it too, because where I found the price of it was just like a listing. And where I found this picture that didn't turn out so great, a guy was saying that he found this Garmin and wanted to see if it still worked, in today. And he said that it worked perfectly fine. So from back in the 90s, that GPS was still working good. So.
Patrick,
all right.
It's your turn to guess first.
$95.
95. Okay. Gail, what's your guess?
150.
150. Okay, let's see. So the actual price was $189.97. So Gail got that one. So the first GPS introduced into automobiles was in 96. So I don't know what I would do without GPS today, to be honest. I know that a lot of people are able to get places, without it, but I find a hard time going from point A to point B without it. And it's nice to just know whenever my estimated time of arrival to places is. So
here's a good question for you, Brooke, since you're older than I. Do you know what the predecessor in DFW was to the GPS?
No. Like a map,
called
like an actual map?
It was called Mapsco. And it was a spiral bound book. Had the map broken up into pages.
Okay. And I feel like I have seen some of those, but I never used them.
There were Mapsco stores where you could go buy these books, wall maps, and you could cross-reference the street, which page it was on, and where it was on the page, like you do a big paper map.
That sounds like a lot of work.
And when I worked for the foster care agency, we had social workers who did home visits all over DFW, and they would be trying to get to these places that they didn't know, and they would call me at the office, and I would ask where they were. I would look it up, and then I would tell them how to get where they were going.
Wow. Yep.
With the Mapsco map.
Yeah.
They probably had to stop at a payphone to call you.
I think they had cell phones, early cell phones then, but you might be right. They might have been calling from a
I remember, and this wasn't fun too, but this was the earliest memory I have of any sort of, GPSing around, but just going, to the Google Maps, and we used to have to print off the directions, and then we would take those with us. Okay, turn here. And I wasn't, I was younger, and I would have to read the directions to my mom, and I guess I wasn't very good at relaying directions. So it always ended up that we weren't where we were supposed to be. You know, we had to take a few wrong turns before we got to where we were supposed to be. But to be honest, I drove an hour to where I am today for work, and I took a few wrong turns then still too. And I had my phone GPS right in front of me that whole time, and I still couldn't even follow it. So I guess old habits die hard, huh? So there you go. All righty, let's see. So this is a digital camera. So this is a LCD digital camera. How much do y'all think that this cost in the 90s? I could be wrong, but I think y'all are going to be surprised by this one. I don't remember who went first last time.
Go ahead, Patrick.
$55.
Okay, 55. Yeah, what's your guess?
125.
All right, y'all are both going to be very surprised then. So it costs $999 for the digital camera. So that was, oh, and I didn't update. I said, y'all get to see my doing this late at night thing, because this is a coffee machine. This isn't the coffee machine that costs $999. That's supposed to be my digital camera. This digital camera, though, over here costs $999. So in 1991, go ahead.
I started to guess somewhere between $300 and $500, but
yep,
basically $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So in 91, Kodak was the first commercially available digital camera with a 1.3 megapixel sensor. So I think what I was reading is, they had digital cameras before that, but this was the first commercially available one to the public. So, yep, not the coffee machine that cost $999, but this digital camera did. So there you go. All right, let's see. I don't know if that was our last one or not. Nope, I think this is our last one. So this is the Super Nintendo video game set. How much do y'all think that this cost in the 90s? Gail, why don't you go first this time? I think Patrick went first last time.
$275.
$275. Patrick, what's your guess?
Thinking. 300.
300. I don't remember what this one cost, so we're all going to be in to surprise, I guess. All right, this one cost $159. I thought I had a fun fact on this one too. Maybe I just didn't save it. So this Nintendo set was very popular, and I believe came out in 91 from what I remember. I could be wrong on that. But I remember, I think for this one, you put the cassettes in at the top of it. So this was one of the really popular Nintendo game systems out today. And, today video gaming has definitely increased. I don't play video games myself, but I know that, my stepdad plays video games at night whenever everybody is asleep and things like that. It's become a mega industry, and they even started doing esports now. So that's been kind of interesting.
Doing what?
Esports, where they have competitions
yes,
over the video games and everything.
There's a big industry. It's like conventions, and they have teams and they make mega millions of dollars.
Yep. This is a little bit interesting. So my little brother, since he's about 21 right now, but since this pandemic and sports have pretty much shut down, he has they've started doing kind of with that esports. They have, those football video games. Well, they, get two people to play teams, as different sports teams, like just for example, the Texans and the Cowboys, and then they have a matchup together. Well, he's turned to starting to just watch people play that and cheering on a team. So I thought that was kind of funny that during the pandemic he's doing that. I was like, oh, that's not my cup of tea, but I guess it's somebody's watching other people play video games. But anyway. All righty. So that was our last one. Y'all are both winners. Great job. I think Gail might have bumped out Patrick a little bit, but y'all both did really good. So we, as always, have some fun facts from the 90s. So our first fun fact is from 1990. I thought that this one was kind of interesting. So in 1990, one of the most completed T-Rex fossils is found in South Dakota and is named Sue after the paleontologist that discovered it. And this is a picture of Sue. So that was one of the most completed T-Rex fossils that was found. And I know even in the Fort Worth area, they have, is it called Fossil Creek? That they have some different fossil things there. So
there's a fossil rim down in Glenrose.
Fossil, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, but that I thought was kind of interesting. In 1992, the Mall of America opened. Have either of y'all ever been to the Mall of America?
Yes. Have you ever?
Is
been?
it great?
I've been there once. And
Was it amazing? No, too many people.
It was just huge, amazing. I worked for American Airlines, and we flew up there one morning and spent the whole day, and then flew back in the evening, and you could literally spend the whole day and not see it all.
Wow. I was supposed to be going to Minnesota for a wedding during all of this, but then it got canceled, and that was what we were planning on doing one day, was going to the Mall of America, before the wedding. So I have never been, but maybe one day we'll get to redo that trip. So I thought that was really cool, though.
It's
all right.
Take all day to do it, because you'll.
Okay, I'll plan the whole day. Maybe I'll plan a day and a half. So, yeah. All right. So in 1993, NAFTA is signed into law. So I thought that was pretty cool. And in 1995, the American space shuttle Atlantis docks with the Russian Mir space station for the first time. So I know back in the 90s and stuff that the NASA was really big then, and going to space and all of that, and I thought that was really interesting as well. Do y'all were y'all into watching kind of the space stuff back then? It was a big deal things going on, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it was.
There you go. All righty. The next one. So in 1998, the search engine Google is founded. Now, I went and I Googled 1998 Google, just to do that. And whenever you do it now in today's Google, it brings it back to where it looks like you're Googling from the old Google. And at the very top, it can say bring to present day, to where it looks, new, but it converts it. Google does some funny things. It converted it to where it looked like it did in the 1998. The search history and stuff. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I don't know what I would do without Google. Now every day, a lot of the answers that I get are, found from Google. Whenever you don't know the answer, before I try to ask people, I just try to Google it myself to see if I can find the answer for something. So, yep, I know it's been a real help to me, and especially, through school, writing papers and all of that stuff. Still had to get out the encyclopedias sometimes, but Google made it easy, that's for sure. All right. In 1999 was President Bill Clinton's impeachment proceedings. Obviously, this is a lot newer of a picture than him from 1999, but that was then. And that was the last of our fun facts. So those are some different things about the 90s, and hopefully maybe some of those items. I know, Gail, you had the cell phone you mentioned, and y'all had the TV in your conference room, so maybe it brought back some different memories and everything like that from the 90s as well. So thank y'all for having me today.
That was fun.
Yeah, and you'll have cookies to look forward to tomorrow.
we had some different items than some of the stuff we've had so far.
There you go. Yep. For sure.
All right. So tomorrow is Cookie Conversations,
Hey,
and we are making chocolate chip cookies. So don't forget to join us at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
okay.
Thank y'all. Have a
So,
great day.
Patrick, you can't stay up till 3:00.
I know.
There you go.
I'll go to bed early. Okay.
Have a great
hold on.
day.
All right. Have a great day.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.